I'm gonna tell you 5 things you should do before you buy any car. If you don't know who I am, my name's Tommy. I've been in the car industry most of my adult life. I've done sales, I've done finance. Now I negotiate car deals. Enough about me. Let's listen to the list of 5. Number 1, we're always asking for a video of the car. I don't care if this is new. I don't care if it's used. You're going to ask for a video 100% of the car. In this video, I normally say it needs to be 3 to 5 minutes long, and it needs to have the VIN on the car. There's a few reasons why we do this. On a used car, we want to make sure we find the condition of the car. I normally challenge a salesperson to find any possible flaws they can find and make sure they highlight those. It's almost impossible to hide flaws in a video unless you have some really good editing software, and these salespeople don't. So just know that if there's a video, you're normally going to find it. If they skip over something quickly, then you can easily see that's probably a flaw in the car, and you can ask them to refilm it. On a new car, in a used car as well, the other reason why we want to do that and make sure the VIN is in there to make sure the car is actually on the lot. Plenty of dealerships will advertise a car that's already sold, and then they maybe are a little bit lazy, quote unquote, to make sure it's pulled off the lot, to make sure that they can keep advertising it and getting people indoor. Shop the competition. You should never buy one and look at one car. I don't care if it's the perfect car. I don't care if it's the most beautiful car. I don't care if it's the only car in a 250-mile radius. Always shop the competition. Try to find a different car. Try to find, in my opinion, 3 to 5 comparables that you can use to negotiate against. I understand one might be the perfect one, but we want to have options. If we don't have options, we lose power as negotiators, and we can't get as good of a deal. Also, it delays some of the emotional attachment to the car, which makes it easier to walk away when the deal isn't great. Always look at a car under a fine-tooth comb before you buy it. This is especially important on a new car. Recently, for example, me and my girlfriend bought a car. We bought a brand new Lexus, and under that car, when we went to go pick it up, we test drove it, we went through it, then a few days later, we actually went and bought it. And during that, we said, hey, we want to see the car. They seemed pretty hesitant about letting us see the car. They said, finance is back. They gave us all the excuses. I said, nope, we're not signing anything until I see the car. After looking at it under the proper lighting and it washed, we noticed there was a lot of scratches on the hood. There was a considerable amount. This is a brand new car. They try to use BS, like, 20% of cars have damage. We told them we would refuse to buy a car if it had the damage. They fixed the damage. Problem solved. But make sure you're finding those things, because if you don't catch those and you drive off the car with them, those damages are yours. Small tip, but important tip, but make sure it has all the necessary accessories that it wants. If, for example, you expected the car to have roof racks, make sure that's on the car when you're gonna buy it. Make sure, this is a big one, make sure the car has 2 keys. Ask about 2 keys. A car should come with 2 keys, and you can normally negotiate those in. Keys are a few $100. They're not cheap nowadays. So make sure you use that as a negotiation tool, as most people want 2 keys. So ask, does the car come with 2 keys? And then make sure you can see 2 keys, because sometimes they'll say, I think it does, and then it won't, and then by the time you sign paperwork, it's too late. This is a big one, and it might seem obvious, but people overlook it all the time, which is, I don't care about 80% of the paperwork you're gonna sign. But the paperwork, if you're gonna sign away and blindly sign away, as plenty of people do, the 2 forms you need to stop on, no matter what, is going to be your vehicle purchase agreement and your bank contract. I want you to read every single line item on both of those. I understand there's gonna be thousands of other forms you sign, and realistically, you can probably sign your name away with those without reading them, without fine. You don't have to read every form page to page. You can't change the fine print, but you really need to go through the purchase agreement, and you really need to go through and make sure that those agreements are everything you equaled out to. Make sure there's nothing extra. Make sure you ask questions. Make sure everything looks good. Do not rush to sign your purchase agreement or your bank contract. In the industry, there's a thing called a WEO. If something is owed to you that is promised, let's say somebody promised to paint the scratches on a hood or give you a key or whatever that promise is, you need to make sure there's a signed form called a WEO. It is something that they owe you as a legal abidement of the sale. So if you don't have that and it's just word of mouth, that can fall through. So somebody promised you something, make sure you get a WEO and sign it, and make sure you get a copy of it. If you don't, then technically they can back out of that deal. And back out of the deal, I mean back out of whatever they promised you, not out of the car deal. Final tip, and this is really important, read online reviews of a dealership. Don't just go if it says 4.4 stars, that seems great. I want you to read just a few from the last month and see what kind of interactions. I want you to skip all the service ones, because those are all gonna be combined into one, but you wanna look through and find what people are saying about buying a car. There's gonna be some positives, there's gonna be some negatives. Look through those and see if there's any red flags. You'll normally see something that charged me crazy amount of fees, and then you'll have people that have positive experiences as well. I always want to look over those reviews to make sure I'm not going to run into something or have a red flag or have something pop up. And final tip, we want to make sure we get a signed official sheet before we ever go into the dealership. So this signed sheet is called a T sheet. It has the official numbers broken down with all fees in there, and it is signed by a manager. That is the most official numbers you can get. I can show you, I have a video coming out with quotes that I got from multiple different dealerships. In reality, by the time we got to the dealership, numbers had changed because those weren't the official numbers, those were just quotes. So if you guys like content like this, I want you to like, follow, subscribe, but thank you guys so much and have a great day.